this phenomena that is very strong. I see it, people coming to me, and I see it on YouTube. In relation to this now, YouTube brings up all of these people who have some awakening experience, and they have a shift that is very wonderful and life-changing. And then there's a hype about that. It's a big hype about that. And it's like that's and with the idea that, hey, this is it, and then go for that. And then so people out there, they're like, whoa, I want that, I want this shift, I want it. And they are saying that if I have this, then everything collapses and everything is good. And so yeah, so there's that develops, so the sense of lack, the trauma and the deficiency, this already creates a sense of lack. This is already, the sense of lack is coming from that.
Mm-hmm.
And the seeking of relief comes from that. Now you put on a bunch of like 400 YouTube videos talking about awakening. Now the seeking for relief goes now for seeking for enlightenment.
Yeah.
And so that is a whole other dynamism that goes somewhere and can, which is noble in some way, but we are seeking relief. So how you deconstruct that, how you can bring this inside out path to this?
I would say that anybody who has trauma and repression would be really drawn to the any pointing that says you don't have to deal with that, transcend and just wake up. That's going to be appealing to anybody who doesn't want to feel something, even if they're not conscious of it. And I think that's part of why we get drawn into it. It sells because it's a promise that feels safe to our nervous system. And actually, it's more than that. It feels rewarding. Like we're going to be awakened, we're going to be enlightened, that we're going to be looked up to, whatever else. It's going to be something good. It's not going to be anger and hurt that we have to go to. So I think that we should say that off the bat for people in case they don't know. If you have trauma and repression, you would be necessarily drawn to that message more than this one, for sure. Because
so maybe we can do a role play vignette.
Yeah.
So that is really practical. And so I am the seeker. Yeah, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm seeker, and I'm coming to you as a former non-dual teacher, current teacher. I was like, so Scott, I read your books, and then there's something really special about what you have realized, and I hear this all the time, and I want that. I'm focusing on it all day. I try everything. I go to a lot of retreats. I don't get it, and I want it. And if only I can have this realization, everything. Yeah. So this is my life. My life is for this. And I tried, I meditated, I have this maybe 3-4 days or 2 weeks of this bliss. I have this bliss, I lost it. And then I'm back into this, and I'm like in my house, and I'm not having shower, and I'm depressed. But I really will do anything to realize what I am. What should I do?
So I would take you through a set of inquiries, but what I would say is, you said, if only I could have that realization, I would do anything. I would say, you would do anything for what?
Yeah, we can go on with this. I'm because it's in us.
Well, you can just role play it, even if it doesn't feel true. You can just
yeah. So say it again.
What would you accomplish? So if you do anything, if you would die for this realization, what will it give you?
Yeah,
you have that you don't have right now.
Yeah, it will give me. I will just be. I don't have this monkey mind, these thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
I'm stressed, so I'll be at peace. And I would be at peace
Yeah.
and I would be free from this turmoil,
Yeah.
and I will know God.
That's good. So that's what a lot of people say, free from the turmoil. But my question is, okay, but what are you really saying? So if you drill that down, if I took you through inquiry, and you really brought it into the somatic and you got out of your mind there, you might find that, oh, well, there's certain things I don't want to feel. These things that I don't want to feel are connected to this monkey mind and the suffering. And so I would take you down there and show you that there's definitely programming down here that says, I don't want to feel something. And I would show you how that programming is connected to some of the stories and the monkey mind stuff. And that therefore, the reason that you're looking for the awakening is the promise that you ultimately that you wouldn't have to feel this somehow. And then you could just be awake. And then we can give you this nice little bypass.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with any of that. Are you interested?
Yes, you're like the turmoil. Basically, you're pointing me to what's happening in my body and agitation and contraction. I have contractions in the back of my neck and in the jaw and here. And I also stressful, man, because I need to please I need to make sure everybody's okay with me, and I'm tired of it, but I can't stop it.
You know, another question I might ask you is, if you're coming to the path, I would say, how do you feel? Do you feel that the way out is through all that, to feel all that? Or are you here because you think there might be a way that you can wake up without having to feel that? Because I think the answer to that question would be really telling in terms of what we're doing here.
Well, I know Angelo, this teacher and this teacher, they say, hey, just realize what I am. I want to realize what I am, because then it's going to be great. All of them, they are saying it's great after that. So I want to get that.
Right. You know, and if we took it out of the mind and we took it into inquiry, probably, I could even do it with you. If you say, as a utility inquiry, I get nothing at all, nothing out of saying, I want that. And you try.
It's interesting, Scott. I'm really going, I actually did some acting before. And if you really get into it, you are it.
I know, totally. Yeah.
I'm feeling now this in my chest. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. So if I get that,
what do you get out of believing that you have to have it? Look, I don't get anything out of it. Can we just start there and see if there's
don't get anything out of believing what?
That I want this realization that I'll do, like that, whatever it is, in your own words. I don't get anything out of believing that that's what I have to get, is that realization.
Yeah. What am I getting out of believing? I want that. I get to
feel into your body first and see, is there anything responding? Like if I say, I don't get anything out of it, does your body agree?
I don't get anything out of believing that if I get that, everything is going to be okay or something. I don't know what's happening, but in my body, I have this actually contraction, tension, unpleasantness in my chest, and I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like it. And those people on YouTube, they don't have that. And so that's why I want awareness.
So this is important right here. So can you just go into that contraction and say, I want to feel it? And then we already know the answer because you already said it, but what's your response?
I want to feel this thing in my chest. I hate this. I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I like it and I hate it. I always have it. I hate it.
So right there, I would say now we've linked up. We're doing inside out. We've linked up the fact that there's something in your body that you hate and you don't want to feel. So we know that that's there. And earnestness requires you to acknowledge and be honest about it. That's what earnestness is. So we know that's there. Now, the question is that linked up to the seeking in any way? And if you look, there's different inquiries to get to it. But for example, if I said, I want you to look at this attainment that you're seeking, like visualize this thing that you would die for.
Yeah.
And the body's involved in that. There might be some energy. But so then what does it reflect back that you're not there?
Yeah, so I want to be one with everything. I want to feel this non-separation. I don't like this. I'm feeling this
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I hope that if I realize that's going to go away,
Yeah. What would go away?
this thing that I don't like in my chest, I don't know
There,
even what it is.
there you go. So right there, linking up and seeing that I don't want to feel this and I'm seeking so I don't have to feel this. The question then is still, is the way out through that or somehow around that? And then I would say this, you already have been trying to get around it. That's repression. So if you try to go around it in spirituality, you're just reinforcing trauma. So I don't know if I've taken you deep enough in it to see to where
Yeah, I don't
you know,
know. It's like hard to follow you, but I'm getting more like now a little angry and sad at the same time.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah. So it's hard to follow you because you're feeling stuff. It's really authentic, but people watching, they saw you go through the process where you were seeking enlightenment. You want this thing, but you weren't
yeah,
connected to your body. Now
yeah,
you're connecting to your body and you're seeing, I don't want to feel that. And then everybody's
yeah,
watching, probably going, well, that's why you would have the seeking there, is because you don't
yeah,
want to feel that. So at some point it sinks in to the
yeah,
inside beginning that the reason that I want the realization is because I don't want to feel that. And then that explains the bypass that's coming for most people, is that they just don't want to feel something. So they're hearing the promise of transcendence. And implicit in the promise is, without teachers saying it, is that you don't have to feel that. Sometimes they do
yeah,
say it. And that to an ego that's traumatized is
yeah.
delicious. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to David Hawkins and some time ago, and he was talking. I don't know if he said that, but I get it. That imperturbability, man. I want that.
Yeah.
So I wanted that. I wanted special. You had an interview with me, and you asked me some time ago. You interviewed me, and you said, "Hey, besides this noble pursuit of truth, was there anything else that was driving your path?" And I was like, "Yeah, one specialness, super special now, because if I'm enlightened, I'm super special in recognition, and I'm super special, better, better than everybody."
Mhm.
And then imperturbability, man, which means like no matter what's happening, I'm unaffected.
You know what? There's so much there, can I say? Because the ego that wants to be enlightened is also a remnant of the past. It's still unprocessed stuff from mom and dad, wanting to be special because you feel deficient. There it is. And then the and I can't even say that word. I don't use the word.
Yeah.
Say it again for me.
Imperturbability. I'm not affected by anything that's happening. My
Right.
girlfriend gives me, I have no money, I'm sick. Like,
Yeah. So if you were to talk about awareness, awareness doesn't have that agenda. It doesn't have an agenda to not be bothered by anything. But the ego that's self-protecting has an agenda to not be bothered by anything. So what I would say is there can be that kind of experience where you're not touched by anything, but because you've been touched by everything, like you've gone to all those places, you're not hiding from those places. It feels
yeah,
like that perpetuity, whatever that word is. I'm sorry, I can't say it. It comes as a result of actually meeting things and not being afraid of those things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be disturbed by anything. And
But see what I mean? Like if you listen to the language of the repressed individual, whether it's a teacher or a student, you can hear the repression in the
yeah,
spiritual talk. You can hear how it comes in. Like, I want to be at a place where I'm not bothered by anything. Right. Awareness doesn't. You do. You want that. And so when that awareness starts to show up and you're really embodying it, it will be like that. You will not have triggers. You probably won't have suffering. But how do you get to that is the question. Because if you're coming from the repression mechanism that says, I want to get there, but I don't want to have to feel anything on the way. See, because I think that we get there by being open to feel everything. It's ironic, but it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's some teacher that I like these days that says, "Hey, enlightenment is to feel everything." I mean, I think it's more to that, but
yeah,
it's encouraging to feel everything consciously. And
yeah. Easier said than done, right? But I hope that people watching could take that and then follow us to the next video. Because if
Yeah.
you could see how we deconstructed the seeking there,
Yeah.
and people may not have gone through it to really feel it, but if you do that, you could verify it. And if you verify that your seeking is coming from repression and trauma, then I think you become interested in what else is driven by that, because that's the inside out path. Like, how much is being driven by what I don't want to feel?
Yeah.
That's the inside out path. Yeah.
It's obvious. I'm seeking, I mean, as this dedicated seeker, addicted to YouTube videos and books, which is like better than be addicted to other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm seeking relief, and I don't want to feel psychological pain that I'm having.
Yeah.
I'm seeking relief, and the difference between people are doing meth or cocaine or is that I am somehow, I'm open to the spiritual teachings, and there's something to it, and there's definitely something to it, but I'm imagining that if I get that, then this is I won't have this. That will give me relief, but I'm unwilling to feel.
Yeah.
I don't even know it. I think we have this mechanism of not wanting to feel very deep and legitimate, not feel discomfort, and they are so strong, and this is running the path I don't want to feel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a big find, because a couple of people this week have said to me, you said it even, people were coming to you like, how's the inside out path about awakening? Where's the awareness piece? Where's the attainment? And I was like, it's definitely part of this. We want to bring the awareness, seeing in from the beginning. But if you can also bring from the beginning this whole deconstruction of why you're seeking and what's behind it, that's going to be a game changer. Because if you don't see it, then you just blindly seek. You just blindly do it, not realizing you're not wanting to feel something. But here in Inside Out, you're going to continue seeking, because that's part of your suffering, but that's going to pull you back to the resistance of the emotions behind it. And that's the difference there. If people can just click with what you just saw, what you just did, and if they resonate with that, that's the thing I want to invite them into, because there's more for us to show you around how all forms of suffering are kind of coming from our trauma. Most of them, not everything. But if you can't see it, you can't see it. This is a way to see it. Just took you through those exercises. You could see it. That is true for everything. Chronic pain, everything. We can link it up.